Well, good afternoon everybody, this is Richard here, and what a wonderful, glorious weekend it's been. We've had the Queen's Diamond Jubilee weekend here in the United Kingdom, and we really have all thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. And I'm sure that most of you have been watching this on television. If you haven't, you need to seek it out from the good old British Broadcasting Corporation based in London. And here, this is my tribute to Her Majesty and her 60 years on the throne. We've had the most wonderful weather, typically British. It's been pouring hard for most of it, but yesterday the sun came out and we had a marvellous spectacular from the Mall opposite Buckingham Palace, and we had some marvellous singers there. The pageant the day before was slightly damp, but everyone pulled together. And also today we've had the marvellous service from St Paul's Cathedral, and then the balcony at the end, and coverage by the BBC, absolutely marvellous as always in these events. But this is my tribute to Her Majesty the Queen, and may she continue to reign. And I've even brought along my famous queenly mug here, which I bought specially for the occasion in, of course, bone china, and with the official colours on here. So here's to you, Mom, and all the very best. Cheers. As you can see, Classic FM are doing their contribute too, so I'm just going to turn them down now. All rather off the cuff that, and I've been doing some work in the workshop today. Let's put this down here, because some of you may remember that my colleague Philip from the office brought in a very nice Rotel record deck, and that he'd found in his loft in his new house, and so I said I'd be very happy to take it off him, which I have been using it actually. And some of you may have remembered the last two, or 3 or 4 video, I think it was, on getting it going. And that motor noise is still there, as some of you may remember. Somebody actually suggested that I may want to sort of wait a while to see whether it settles down. It has, it has and it hasn't. It's still there, back, when the tracks are a bit quiet, you can still hear it. But there's been another problem. It's been developing, and I thought I'd talk to you about that, and that is over time, slowly, the arm wasn't picking up at the end of the record. So on the spindle track, nothing happened. It continued to go around. And I thought it was rather odd, because I'd actually re-greased everything and cleared out all the cobwebs and a few BP bugs as well. Nothing too detrimental to the playing of this particular machine, which is a belt-driven machine. And I couldn't understand, so I thought, okay, well, of course I'd fitted it in my office in the main house, and fitted it really well out there, so I had to make the effort to actually take it down. I've replaced it temporarily with my Hitachi direct drive machine, excuse me, that I bought new back in about 1976. So, and that dates from about 1974, I think, that machine, actually, when I've done a bit of research. And they're going for a lot of money now on eBay, I noticed, and £70 sometimes. I mean, not just that, not that I'm prepared to pay that. Most of my kit comes through people giving it to me or buying it at a reasonable price. So, it's a bit of a valued thing, because it's something I've had for a long time. I've never serviced it, actually, in all the time I've had it, and it's been looked after. It's stored in a special place and covered up, and I make sure I test run it every so often so it doesn't seize up in any way. But this machine, the RP1000, is very nice, and I'll take Mr. Panasonic off his perch shortly and show you around again. And consequently, I couldn't understand that. However, I have discovered there was that problem. There was also a slight hum that I was having on the when I was playing things, and I wasn't sure whether that was something to do with the RCA jacks I was using, something to do with the cable degrading inside or whatever. However, I've got hold of the amplifier. This is the trio amplifier that was chucked in the scrap heap at the last place I worked at before I left there over 12 months ago, and had been sitting out in the rain for about 2 weeks. And I was going home one Friday, and I thought to myself, that looks like an amplifier. So I walked over from where I parked my car at that time in the office, and lo and behold, it was. I thought, crikey. So I bit dirty, so I dumped it in the back of the car. I said to one of the maintenance guys, have one of you chucked this amplifier in the scrap metal? And they said, no, not us. So I said, okay. Anyway, powered it up after it had dried out for about 3 or 4 weeks, and lo and behold, it works, and it's been my test amp ever since. So there's a moral somewhere in there that if you're going to find the best bit of kit, it's probably on the scrap metal heap before it goes to the local scrap dealers. Anyway, so the thing about it was that I actually have discovered there is an adjustment screw on the underside of the RP1000, and I've actually tinkered with that, and in fact it's working perfectly well now. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to have to secure one or two things on the arm, so just bear with me a while on that one. Where are they? There we go. Now, one or two of my one YouTube viewer actually said that I waffle on quite a lot. I make no apologies for the amount of discussion that goes on, because that's part of my channel, and so if there's any criticism of me, fair enough, you can always switch over to someone else, and I'm sure they'll give you just as good as interest as I have. So, but hey, it's a free country, we have free speech, and that's what it's all about. And but also I've got a few new YouTube subscribers that I'm subscribing to, and one of them is the EMI. I think it's EMI. It's the chap, Colonel he's called, with a very large gramophone. Has about a 33-inch across diameter. Diameter horn, and plays some marvellous stuff. And he speaks from the Grange, no doubt. Great stuff on there, and he's even playing some Al Bowley records, which is great. As everyone knows, I'm a great fan of Al Bowley. So hey, Colonel, nice to see you around, and great to hear from you as well. Now, I've now done that, so what I'm going to do is just I'm going to just turn this up, so I'm hopefully that it won't fall over, and I'm going to try and do this one hand. As you probably know, some of you, that this isn't always the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to just try, that's how I've made it, okay. So I'm now going to attempt to do two things. Let's take this off here. Hey, I've done that as well. That's two things done in one afternoon. I'll just turn this around. I'm just going to turn you around a bit. There we go. Right, now, I don't know whether you can, you can see it. At the top right hand corner there's a screw with a spring in it. I don't want the platter to fall off the record player, so I'm not sure I can actually do this without causing great problems by... There we go. If I hold it with this hand, I might just be able to reach a screwdriver to get to two. It's this one here. There we go, I can see that there. Now, I mean, that hadn't moved probably since it was new. And I found it rather amusing that it suddenly decided that it was going to adjust itself, but the record just didn't lift off. Because what it does, it pushes, this is obviously in the gravity's taken this down, but it pushes against this here. And as it moves across, it pushes the prow, which I'll show you shortly, in the way of the little thing that catches on the velocity cog, and then obviously lifts the arm. So I've done two things since I've had the bottom off. I've actually re-greased everything again. I've also checked out everything else just to make sure it's all functioning, and actually re-oiled the spindle of the disc, because it was making a strange one. When it warmed up, it was also making a scratchy sound, which I've actually dealt with as well. And the spindle comes out, the central spindle comes out here. Oh, I can't see it, can you? Here, and it's held on by a clip here. So I've done a bit of greasing there, which has been great. What I'll attempt to do now, which I probably can't do because I can't do that without putting the camera. I'm going to put the camera down, so just bear with me shortly, and I'll show you the other side, which you probably already something you know about. Just bear with me very gently. I'm just going to. We're getting a shot of the bottom of the deck. I'm just going to. There we go. Right, I'm just going to take this off. Okay, Okay, so this is a belt driven machine, and there is a small lever here. When you press this lever here, it adjusts the speed and pushes the belt to the lower part, which alters the amount of what's the word I'm trying to find here? The amount on the actual spindle of the direct drive motor, which is here. If I run that, it will see. There we go. You can see that. And then obviously it goes to the larger part. There we go. I'm hoping that it's going to. Now, that won't work at normal speed. It won't work normally because I haven't actually lowered the arm. So what I need to do here is put it onto 33 and then just lift it off here with my finger, just around here, and then slowly lift it off here. There we go, like that. Let's put that over there. Now, in here, for those of you who are not conversant with how actual record players lift, there are two things. There is this lever here, which is when you press this one, which is here, and that pushes this is known as the prow, in the way of this small piece here. And when that does, that catches on this larger cog, and then the whole thing adjusts the arm to go back, as it's spring-loaded, go back to its resting place. That's how it works. When the record's in motion, this one here comes out over time, and that other lever that I showed you earlier pushes this over time, over the course of the record as it gets further, and that's what that adjustment does. It allows that when that starts to move across, and when that catches, that thing comes round, because it's in resting position at the moment, and catches on the spindle, and that then will put the record back at rest. As you see, the whole thing is marvellously done. This is a Rotel, or a Japanese make company, and they even put instructions on here how to actually oil and adjust, and I've done that. It's in the bolt down. These bolts actually are marvellous. They actually secure the whole thing, and when I received this, these were all screwed down, so I'm not actually sure whether it was actually ever released under its normal spring. This whole motorboard is sprung loaded, and it's really good. In fact, the whole thing's in very good condition. It normally has a perspex lid, which I've taken off so that I can fit it in the office, and the whole thing is beautifully constructed, so I'm very fond of this particular deck. So the next job I'm going to do is whip out that engine motor, the motor under here, and see if I can quieten that down. That's the next thing. And the humming sound I haven't been able to find at all with this amplifier. This is my amplifier here, the one that was thrown on the metal scrap heap. So and works perfectly on all of the sections. And I've got, if we look around here, I've actually got one there the same. You might be just to be able to see that. That one I bought on eBay and paid about 25 quid for about 3 years ago. The one above is, just as let you know, this is a trio stereo amplifier. I bought this for £10 and it works perfectly. And the one above that is the Hitachi, my original Hitachi, which went FUT a few years ago, and I haven't got round to sorting that out yet, so just a couple of things already in the pipeline. But anyway, when I get round to dealing with the motor, I'm going to do another video and show you all how we're getting on. And anyway, enjoy the rest of the day. As you can see, it's typically British weather out there, and I'll speak to you all soon, and look forward to your comments, and take care. Bye.